There are several instances where a narcissistic person will feign ignorance. They will act dumb, act ignorant, act like they simply do not know. And this is due to the narcissist's self-centered nature that manifests into that ignorance. So you can notice that if you go to confront a narcissistic individual about their behaviours, about their mistakes, about how they might be harming another person, about something they did in their past that wasn't particularly nice, they tend to glaze over. You're talking but nobody's home. They claim that it wasn't them. They ignore you. They look over your shoulder at somebody else, or they downplay whatever situation it is. If you try to discuss your feelings with a narcissistic person, they will listen to you and pay attention to you if they can exploit your feelings and make you feel worse. However, more often than not, due to their lack of empathy, they lack the ability to care about your feelings. So they minimise them, they dismiss them, they sort of shrug their shoulders and, what's your problem? Don't you think you're overreacting? I think you might be a little bit too sensitive here. And they're extremely harsh with it. When you go to them with your beliefs or your opinions, they just act like they're not listening to you, or like they're wrong in some way. But they manage, the grandiose especially, manages to stay calm in it all, which usually winds you up all the more. If you try and explain how their behaviours have affected others, they can just seemingly not get it because they feel entitled to do as they please, similar to explaining other people's needs. They don't get it. They lack the empathy. They feel entitled to do as they please, and they act very ignorant. When you try to get them to take responsibility for their behaviour, again, they will act with that ignorance, how it wasn't their fault, it's somebody else's fault, it's nothing to do with them. When it comes to other people's successes and celebrating other people's successes, they'll pay no attention to it whatsoever if it's not about them. Narcissistic people can be some of the most ignorant people that you can ever come across. Now, people who are not narcissistic are able to be ignorant. We're all capable of being ignorant now and again. With a narcissist, it's a pervasive pattern of behaviour. It's who they are as a person, and it manifests in certain aspects continually throughout their lives. They tend to be ignorant because they can often be very closed-minded, so they choose to overlook things that don't suit their narrative. They can be ignorant for deliberate avoidance. So if you try to confront them about something, they will become very ignorant because they're trying to avoid the topic of conversation at hand, and they can be ignorant as a defense mechanism to protect themselves, such as when they fail to take responsibility, they just play dumb, like it's not their fault, it's the other person's fault. What are you attacking them for? They haven't done anything wrong. And with a narcissist, you cannot make them see. It's who they are as a person. They've been that way a long time, and that way works for them, so they seem to believe.